Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another session of Living World Darkness, New York by Night, in the Camarilla venue. Tonight, Limey has invited his very good friend and clanmate Ghost around to meet his new fledgling, who he is currently sat with. It's odd. Limey's asked Ghost not to come to the club as he usually would. Instead, it's like a little bar, like not even one that you guys own in like at the very north of Harlem. Proper dive bar. And as Limey walks Damien through into a back room, which he walks into the place and he pulls out a wad of cash and slides it over the bar to someone. They give him a key and he heads through to the back room. It's like a crappy little staff area. There's like an out of order coffee machine, uh, a couple of couches, coffee tables. It's crap. Um, yeah, sits down and straightens out his suit jacket before lighting a cigarette and handing the packet to Damien.
Damien will thank you and will like make a dismissive like hand gesture, but say no thanks. And he will look around. He's still not like he hasn't gotten this completely. I'm just off the train and don't know anything, but he's still new to this existence and still trying to get his bearings on pretty much everything.
Alright. So there's the deal, Damien. I've brought you here tonight to fill you in on a few things and to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine.
Yes.
Now, she's a bit of an upcurse. You don't want to wind her up, but she's a thoroughly good sort. I expect you two should get on just fine. Now, before she gets here, I need to ask, police force wise, you still hold any love for the NYPD?
I they can probably be useful, but I mean I'm not human anymore. I don't know why I should uh, consider myself one of them. I can use them, but that's about it, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we all have our own paradigms on the kind, but I'd say that's an intelligent answer. You'll be useful to have around then. Now, how do you feel about criminal activities?
Huh. Well, I mean, if I want to survive, I have to commit assault every night. So I mean, when I do that, I guess everything else. I'm not saying just do crazy shit for the sake of it, but I mean,
No.
I don't think that I'm not
I'm saying
my yeah.
I'm saying it if you have to.
Um,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, definitely. I mean, as I said, if I want to survive, I have to commit assault of a scale that would have put me away basically for life when I was a human. So I don't really have a problem with basically anything
Well, good.
that I know
Because
of, at
myself,
least.
well, that's good because while I'm certainly no thug, myself and Ghost are kind affairs aren't what our Hasidic friends would call kosher. We run a few different operations, mostly around Harlem. And seeing as well, you can't exactly go out on regular police business anymore. I figure we might have you run a couple of bits and bobs for us. In fact, in a greater or lesser capacity, I'll be taking you on as especially what the rest of the gang will think of as muscle.
That's no problem. I mean, even I think I haven't been on the regular force for some time. I spent most of the last couple of years in like looking down scopes, but I will. I still have some acquaintances in the force, and they would probably know me. Like from some of them would know my face still, so I wouldn't be as suspicious to them.
Perfect. Perfect. So if we how much sway do you hold with the old Bill? I mean, can you get a unit dispatched? Can you get a place investigated?
Probably.
Get a place ready? What's within your abilities?
Well, I can probably do some small scale stuff. I think if I call in to have some place investigated, they might take it a little bit more seriously than if it was just random Joe citizen. But I do have some friends within the force that I could probably get something from if I needed to. But like I'm not like best pal with the chief if no with the chief commissioner if that's what you're talking about.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Okay. Oh, and this might be a good time for Ghost to walk in. Limey will have let her know that he's in the back room.
Yeah, you hear the sound of the doors opening and closing quite heavily, because Ghost isn't the sort of person that moves around particularly quietly when she walks. There's a clink of chain and boot, and after a few minutes, the door to the back room is opened and reveals this woman with well, she could probably be a Bruges poster girl. That's sort of the impression you get, and she's wearing sunglasses, even though it's nice at night time because she's kind of a douchebag. And she's got a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, and she just grins at Limey, walks over to a chair, turns it backwards, straddles it, puts her arms on top, and stabs some of the cigarette into the ashtray that's on the table. Then reaches up and pulls down her sunglasses so you can see her eyes, and she looks between you. So who's this?
Damien, I'd like you to meet the woman that shares my hair comb. Ghost, Damien, my fledgling.
And Damien will nod politely and extend his hand to her.
She takes his hand and shakes it briefly. And nice to meet you.
The feeling is mutual.
Fledgling, eh? Spreading your seed around?
He ain't mine. In the Circus Knox debacle, some random kindred turned him by accident, by the looks of things. He was dealt with, and well, I didn't fancy killing someone just because they had the misfortune to run across one of our kind. Hence, this copper works for us now.
Since it was Circus Knox, I'm surprised the prince didn't put this on my lap.
Yeah, well, I was a little surprised too. By the way,
yeah.
The prince, well, let's just say the prince is a little more well inclined towards you. I had a word.
Thanks. She tilts her head at this new guy and she's like, "You probably didn't want me to turn you to the dark side."
I certainly had no idea that there was an entire world that I didn't know.
Well,
I thought I'd seen some shit in Afghanistan and Iraq, but this.
well, you served.
I did. I was in special ops in Afghanistan and Iraq. Yeah, well, you know that I was a sniper in SWAT, and that's and the service was actually where I picked up those particular skills that I used in NYPD afterwards. So give me a good rifle and an vantage point, and I can take out anything within the range of the rifle, probably.
Well, that's good, isn't it? From a war to the streets to a war on the streets. Useful.
Ghost looks impressed when you're talking about that. She nods along.
So, yeah. But as I said, I have to admit that I'm still somewhat confused about like this whole. I mean, I remember that the prince told me about the traditions, and I understand them, but especially from the scene, especially from the what happened at the warehouse, and he looks at the Limey. There seems to be a whole lot that I'm not quite aware of.
Well, you're only partially privy to what went down in the warehouse. Let's just say myself and another kindred don't get on right now. Over, well, only a minor thing. I lost my temper, and I shouldn't have done. And it won't, hopefully, it won't happen again, but it is part of our curse.
Fill me in. What happened?
Victor, he's been pushing some buttons recently. You heard about his stunt outside the club?
Yeah, I'm wondering why you haven't taken him up on Breach of the Masquerade yet.
Because there wasn't a breach, and because the Tremere are tenuous within this city, I wanted to make sure with the prince first.
There wasn't
I would have liked to kick.
technically a breach. Ghost interrupts, holding out her hand and
No.
making a tiny bit motion between their fingers. It wasn't technically a breach. However, in the Camarilla, as we well know, you can stretch and prod the bureaucracy to make things go the way you want them to go. You need to put your fist and your foot down a little bit more, Limey, and people might respect you a bit more.
And when she mentions the word bureaucracy, Damien involuntarily rolls his eyes and goes, "Oh yeah, bureaucrats."
Look, it's in a case of bureaucracy, and unfortunately, me putting my foot down and slamming my fist against the table ain't gonna work with Victor. Let's just say I've had a word with the prince, and if Victor tries anything else, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Unfortunately, Prince's orders, I'm not allowed to move against him. But the moment he puts one out of line in this city, I'm going to come down with him like a ton of bricks, and he knows it.
You won't catch me running to Daddy. If he crosses me, I'll just pound him his face into a wall. See how he likes it on the other side.
Damien chuckles a bit at that.
Listen, alright? I ain't running for Daddy. Unfortunately, I've got party lines to toe. I don't like it. But before I go running around deciding to punish kindred, I've got to ask the head honcho first. I don't like it, but it's part of the job description.
She's just grinning at you. You can tell that she's doing it all in good humour and she's not actually trying to annoy you, but...
Limey knows that you're not trying to wind him up, but you get a distinct feeling, you've known him for a very long time, that Limey is in a bit of a tense place right now, and possibly isn't in the best of humours. He also smells really, really strongly of cannabis, and not just he's a little bit doped out. Looks like he's been feeding on stone blood. But yeah.
Well, this is what happens when a curmudgeon meets a bomb. So, yeah. And Ghost is just like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. So, yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Victor puts one more toe out of line than I have. Well, I've had express permission to bring him in with, shall we say, prejudice. Look.
Goody goody.
That aside, let me break it down for you, Mood.
Damien looks at Blimey as he addresses him.
Yeah. So I'm the sheriff. It's my job to, if anybody steps out of line, breaks the traditions, my job to deal with it in whatever way is necessary. It's bringing that person in and punishing them out of Prince sees fit. Now, of course, this also includes any members, well, anyone like us who comes to this city, not within the Camarilla. Anarchs are a slightly different story. As long as Anarchs toe the line, they're welcome Camarilla turf. But the Sabbat, an independent kindred, they got to be dealt with.
He wouldn't probably know what the Sabbat are, would he?
Well, let me explain. The Sabbat are our rival faction. Everything we stand for, secrecy, subtle manipulation of the kind, they stand against. They believe that they should be respected as the powerful creatures that they are. The kindred should be nothing. The kind should be nothing more than a food source, and we should be running around worrying about horrors long dead.
So they
when
don't
they come into the city,
they don't believe in the traditions?
they don't believe in the traditions. Of course, for their own safety, they have to stick to a couple of them, but they don't believe in the traditions. And they make our lives very difficult when they're in the cities. And right now, we've got a pack of them, and we're bringing them down.
Mm.
Which is a good thing we've got a shot like you in.
Give me a rifle and a vantage point.
Well, listen, I ain't exactly privy to sniper rifles. They're not the most common weapons you'll find on the street, but I'll be able to hook you up with something. You got a piece?
I have a handgun, yes, and I have an old hunting rifle that like it might suffice. I can put a scope on it, but of course the better equipment I have, the better I can do.
Look, consider it a favour. I'll tool you up with a shotgun or an SMG, depending on which one you prefer.
I think SMG because I have training with that kind of weapon.
Right on. In that case, I'll hook you up with an MP5.
Sounds good.
Drop it up sometime. Right, anyway, as I was saying, that's me, the sheriff. Essentially, the lawkeeper of the city and commander in times of war. Second to the prince and seneschal, of course. Then you got the prince. I think that was pretty obvious. The prince runs the city. Everything's his domain, and he grants domain in this city as he sees fit. He also grants position. That is Mr. Johann de Witt. He runs things in a military style. As long as you keep your head down and your trap shut and you listen, then you should do just fine.
Understood.
Then we have the seneschal, the seneschals of our clan. You met her the other night, Rose.
Oh, yes, her.
She's a bit different, but she's been in the city for a long time, so despite her lack of social ability, she does make a good seneschal. She knows all the kindred, she knows the way it runs in New York. Show her respect.
What is seneschal?
What?
What is that guy?
Seneschal. Try and keep up. The seneschal is the right hand of the prince. Think of them as a secretary or a vice president. They handle prince's affairs night to night when they're not holding court. The seneschal is the person you usually go through to get to the prince or to find out certain bits of information.
He nods as he explains.
Then you've got the harpy. The harpies are the social keepers of the kindred in a city. They trade in gossip. They trade in information. They keep track of boons. The boon system is like our currency. So, for instance, myself getting hold of a gun for you would be the equivalent for me of a trivial boon. And it's on a quid pro quo basis. So I help you, you help me, and you're bound to help in certain ways. These range from trivial boons, which is like me going back to my haven and picking up a gun, or they go to minor boons, so that's a small amount of exertion on my part to help you out. Major boons, a large amount of exertion, time, influence. That can be repaid by discipline use, by teaching of disciplines or backing of political points, etc.
Mm.
Then they go all the way up to blood boons and life boons, and you really don't want to owe one of those. Blood boon means another kindred saved your life and spilt blood for you, and that person is heavily indebted, and you are heavily indebted to that person. However, the
Yeah.
boon can be paid off by shedding blood.
So if someone saves my life, I either am pretty much indebted to that person for a very long time, or until I return the favor in like way.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
What you don't want to do is drink another vampire's blood.
Okay. And he looks over at her. Why would I want to drink another vampire's blood?
Sometimes you want to. Sometimes you're hungry enough to, and this just happens to be some trickling down there, and it's very tempting. And sometimes, you like to get up to a bit of the bedroom stuff, and when you're dead, that involves biting. Or sometimes people will try and convince you that it's a good idea. Never drink another vampire's blood. As soon as you start doing that, they start being able to have control over you. Same way they do their servants. It's bad.
yeah.
Don't do it.
He nods, and you can see that he's taking it in. Okay. I'm no one's slave. I don't want to be anyone's slave anyway.
Which is why you found yourself in the right company. With a Bruger, you don't really do slaves, that's more venture.
And he
Blimey.
looks a little bit confused about the whole name dropping. Yeah, I heard you mention the words Bruja and Tremere and now Ventru, but I'm not entirely sure that I know what they cover.
Look, to my knowledge, there's 13 clans, but there's only a few of them that need to matter to you. You've got the main Camarilla clans. You've got your Ventru. Ventru are typically princes and the like. Ventru are masters of control and autocracy. The other people, they make good bureaucrats and good leaders, but well, they tend to keep hold of some of those old European ideals of leadership. Big, a lot of monarchy and shit.
The divine right of kings and shit.
All that bullshit there. Then you got your Bruja. That's us. They call us the rabble because, well, you've got a reputation for being rebels and philosophers and liberal thinkers. However, the Ventru don't like that, but as well, not all Ventru, but there are some kindred who don't like that very much. And well, they all tend to hide behind us when it kicks off because, well, aside from our use of presence, discipline, which affects the emotional state of mortals, we're also pretty handy in the scrap. But of course, you should never have to be just what your clan says they are. We have a reputation as rabble, but we're also known as warrior scholars, great thinkers, great social movers and shakers. The fact that we're a little bit tough and a little bit rough around the edges sometimes, secondary, my man. Then you got your Toreador, they're artisans, social manoeuvrers. The Prince is a Toreador.
Oh, okay, I thought you said that that Ventru were princes.
Not always.
Yeah, not all. It's just a.
It kind of comes down to stereotypes a little bit. I mean, you tend to get bikers in the Bruja and suits in the Ventru, and pansies in the fucking Toreador. But
sometimes the stereotypes don't fit. I get.
Yeah, sometimes the stereotypes don't fit. I mean, could you imagine me in the Ventru? Probably not. But you can get a Bruja that's pretty much, a Wall Street power mogul.
Mhm.
It's just what it's no point flooding you with a load of information straight off the bat.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's the best way to do it is to learn like I did over time and listen
He nods.
and talk to a lot of people. Yeah, I've been. Oh, when was I embraced? Fucking hell. What do you think? 1976.
And he
Probably
stares.
before you were born.
He stares at her and says, so you're 40? He can't really believe it.
I was about 20, 21 at the time, yeah. So technically I'm about 60.
So we don't age, I gather.
No.
No, we
Okay.
do not. Otherwise, you'd be sat here staring at a 90-year-old man.
90? He chuckles a little bit as if he's as if he thinks that Limey is joking. But
What's so funny?
like I'm sorry, sire, but you look like 40 maybe tops.
Limey looks around anywhere from about a rough 25 to like an early 30s kind of guy. But he, yeah. Just think about
Oh,
the
we're
prince.
young.
That cat's. We are,
Yeah.
as she says, we're young. That's how old you can get.
There are people knocking around that have been around for hundreds of years.
And his eyes widen and look at her as if, for a moment, the look on his face is one of incredulity that he doesn't quite believe what she's saying, but then he thinks about it and like since the two of you haven't really aged since the 70s or 20s, then okay, I guess he says, I guess that's okay. So I will, whatever state you are embraced in, you will remain in.
Yep.
Yeah, hence the unfortunate fucked up face you got there, my friend.
Well, at
What's
least
actually out of character? What's actually wrong with his face?
he's disfigured. I think it was during the fight before his embrace that he was smacked in the head with a rifle or something like that. So he got disfigured. As far as I remember, that was the backstory.
Okay.
I think I put it on the. Yeah. Anyway, so he he chuckles and says, "Well, I wasn't a beauty queen before before this happened, and at least now I get to live forever."
If you play your cards right. You've got to be clever to live forever, my friend.
Very.
Because in this game,
Yeah, you win and you die. She chuckles at her own reference, but
And then yeah, he wouldn't. I get it, but I think he wouldn't get it. So he just looks at her and says, "Yeah, I think that's yeah. It seems that way."
oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there was one more position that you need to know about, or a couple more.
Yes.
it's not mission
One
made,
of
don't
which-
worry.
No, nothing hardly so vanilla. Here is my hound. Hound is what you might think of as a deputy sheriff, or somebody who acts on behalf of the sheriff.
So the hound is basically for the sheriff what the seneschal is for the prince.
Similar to, usually it involves a bit more leg breaking.
He nods. All right. So vampires are in either clan Ventru or clan Bruja or clan Tremor that you mentioned before.
There's lots.
Look,
lots
there's a lot
of
more of
them.
Okay.
It's
Then you got
kind of like a lineage thing, like basically. Have you seen Dracula or any movies like that?
Yeah.
So-
like the motherfuckers who are uglier than me.
Yeah, it's well instead of having one vampire that made everybody, there were like a few original vampires,
Hmm.
and then they all had they all made children, and then you go down in bloodlines. It's like a family tree, basically. And each of these bloodlines has particular characteristics and particular weaknesses.
Mm.
You'll notice that your temper isn't particularly good. If you had a good temper when you're human, it's probably a lot worse now. Bruges tend to be short-fused. That's our weakness. But our strengths are that we're physically powerful, fast. Let me think. What do I know much about? Toreador. They tend to be quite attractive when they're good. They've got powers that can manipulate your emotions and things like that. But I've seen them get. They see something particularly beautiful, they get stuck, like in a trance.
So
They've all
basically,
got their own weaknesses. You know, it's
so show a Toreador or a sunset, and they go, well,
yeah, maybe.
Well, everybody's heard the story of the Toreador who died watching the sunrise.
Nosferatu, yeah, they're very sneaky, and they're good at hiding and gathering information, but they're ugly as fuck. I'm not talking about
very
just
obvious, and they don't really.
ugly. I mean, like monsters. They are your fairy tale monsters. They don't tend to stick around up on the surface very much.
so they're like the guys in the movie in the old movies, or
Yeah, pretty much.
okay. Yeah, I can see why they wouldn't.
They are, let's just say, sensitive about it. So
Don't mention that.
Yeah, don't mention it. Then you got your Malkavians. Malkavians are, fuck, how to describe the Malkavians. Their powers range from manipulation of the mind to all out on the mind. They're also, well, some might say pretty good at sticking to the shadows. And, well, they, if you believe in that sort of thing, have insight that others lack.
So they're like
madness.
mind readers or psychics or something like that?
Yeah.
Right. What do you say?
My readers psychics. They have powers that can.
No, mind is psychics are given far too much credit. Sometimes the madness hides truth, sometimes the truth hides madness. You've got to be on your feet with the Nosferatu. The only one we've got active in the city right now is Kaufman, who is less outwardly mad, more outwardly creepy. However, very useful ally, so try and treat him or her with an amount of cordiality.
Him or her?
It's pretty hard to tell, and my experience, sometimes it's best just not to ask.
Okay. He nods, accepting what you say, looking somewhat confused, but deciding, okay, this whole shitty life is confusing, so move. Okay. So the Malkavians are generally not the most mentally stable types, I gather.
No, that's their flaw. They're all mad.
Mad.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's gonna be interesting to deal with.
Yeah. I don't know much about the Tremere, to be honest. Often that tasty region they have.
Listen, the Tremere are interesting in all cities, but in this one we're tense right now. Game players and nobody really knows exactly the nature of their magic unless they've studied it, but let's just say they're not the kind of people you want after you. He shifts uncomfortably in his seat.
He nods.
They're a bit of a mystery. Keep them on your side if you can. If you can back away, if you can't do that, try and limit your dealings with them.
Alright.
Yeah. Well, don't overload him with too much information. Just, just see if you get through the next couple of months, and then you can find out a bit more then.
I think the one at the warehouse seemed like an arrogant asshole, but that might just be.
Oh, he is an asshole.
Like he looks contemplative and doesn't. He neither confirms nor denies what you say.
I fucking hate
Then
that.
Ghost doesn't really care
finally we have. No.
whether he knows that she thinks he's an asshole or not. To be perfectly honest.
Then finally we have Clan Gangrel. Clan Gangrel are wanderers and outcasts, and those closest to the beast. Now the beast, you feel that thing that kicks off inside you when you get hungry. When somebody prods you in the street, you feel that anger bubbling up. That's the beast talking. You want to ignore that fucker. You want to keep it locked away, because the stronger that thing gets, the further you slip away from what makes you fundamentally human. But the Gangrel are an interesting lot. Among other things, they can communicate with and turn into animals. That's why one of them is my other hound is a Gangrel.
Okay.
I like the Gangrel.
I like the Gangrel. Gangrel are cool.
Tough as nails.
Hard as nails. You do not want to fight a Gangrel. Those claws. Those claws.
Yeah, Wolverine style.
So the gangrels are like our soldiers, or
Well, you never meet any one Gangrel that's like another, really. But if they are so inclined, I suppose they could be compared to attack dogs.
Hmm.
But like I said, that's only if they're agreeable to it.
all right. Well,
One thing you got to learn is that while these stereotypes exist, they're not 100% accurate. There are exceptions to the rule, you think?
Yep.
like the prince who is a Toreador, while most princes are Ventru. Was that what you said?
Well, that's not so much an exception, because Toreador are a higher clan, but, well,
Higher clan.
Let's not start getting into that. You're gonna make my head explode.
Okay.
that's a story for another night, my friend. Anyone can be prince, so long as they survive long enough and they play it clever enough. Even Thin Bloods. And
Uh-huh.
that's a conversation
So-
for time.
Okay. So like how like the old so. And you can see that he struggles to find the right words. So the older a vampire gets, but I like the old ones. Why are they like? Are they even still around? Or I don't think I've met any really old vampire yet.
You
Met
get
the prince,
stronger
haven't you?
as you get older.
Oh, so the prince is also like okay. Yeah. Okay, I guess since he's been around the longest, he would know a thing or two. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I guess. And he's at the ceiling a little bit, thinking, trying to wrap his head around the information he's gotten. Okay. So I think that's basically it. Yeah. Don't fuck with the traditions. Don't fuck with the Nosferatu. Don't fuck with anyone basically unless you have to.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Now, I do have some proper business to discuss that's going to make your head spin a little bit, but first, before that, I've got something I want you to do.
Yes.
I want you to cultivate influence within the police force. You know how to go about doing that.
I still have a few, as I said, I still have a few contacts there, a few friends that I can get through to.
Have you got a partner or anything like that? Anyone you're particularly close to? Have you got a sergeant, perhaps?
Let me see. I have. I think it's been a while since I was out patrolling, so I don't. I think partner there got transferred, but me think.
Look, don't
I
worry.
still have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some. I have some people on the street, not cops, but like like the more shady bit of society from when I used to patrol that I can talk to at least. They won't put their necks out for me, but they might give me some info if I return a favor at some point. And then I have a few friends left on the force, which would probably do me like which could probably be persuaded
Helpful
to put yeah to be a little more helpful, yeah. And as I said, if I call in about a suspicious location, it's much more likely that they'll come running than if Joe Citizen does. But I'm not.
Well,
I'm
look,
yeah.
Limey gives you a reproachful look as he goes to talk across you. Um, being incredibly rude, but hey, fuck it. He sort of like raises an eyebrow. And while that's all very well and good, because that's not a bad place to start, certainly, you want to start cultivating it. What I would do is in your department or ex-department, I would find out, use your allies or your contacts or whatever to find out about a high-ranking officer, and I want him to be dirty. I want you to be able to get a bit of dirt on him.
You want
Stuff
to
that you
what?
wouldn't
I'm
want
sorry.
to. I want you to find a ranking officer with a little bit of control in the department, and I want your contacts to find someone who's easy to blackmail.
I will. I will. I have a few people that might know someone. I'll
Good.
figure it out.
You ask him, and when you find him, you let me know. All right?
Yep. Yes,
Just
definitely.
to see how you cope. Get back to me within the next few days. You do?
Yep.
Good man. Right, groovy. Ghost.
Yes.
We've had a couple of breakthroughs with our friends in the Sabbat. We picked up a human thrall. Well, not thrall. He wasn't a ghoul, but we picked up a human operative of theirs. He deals in the red pill. He was the bartender from that night in Staten. Remember?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we managed to pick him up. Turns out Samuel Bishop had some beef with this guy. Helped us track him down.
Okay.
So we've got Samuel who's called him and intends to inject him into their operation. Now, before that happens, we're going to find out as much as we can from him. But after that whole Staten thing, it's about I'm going to lay dormant. I think we need to find our next way up rung on the ladder in this whole red pill fiasco.
Yeah, I dig.
So let's look at what we know so far. We know the Latino Kings are dealing, right?
Yep.
Do we know where any of their factories?
I've got lockdown on a few of their places.
Right. Out of character. Does Ghost know this, or would you like me to make an influence roll to see if I can find something?
No, I know this. In fact.
Alright. Because we're going to need to go and shake down a place or two.
Not a problem.
Hmm.
Has
He looks at the fledgling. Not sure
Padre
about you.
been in contact with you recently?
He hasn't been in contact with me personally,
Mm.
but we do know that my friend, this bartender, uh, has been in contact with him. I heard him speak to him on the phone, Padre and Miss Maggie. So I reckon we need to. I reckon we need to. Well, make our next move to finding this guy before he can do some damage we ain't gonna walk away from so easy.
Okay.
You game for it tonight?
I am ready as when you say. And you can see he has a
Yeah.
bit of
See, that's
a look in his eyes that says he wants to prove himself. So
okay.
he's game for
All
and
right.
probably has some aggressions he needs to come out with as well.
All right. We'll bring you along too. We'll see what the new boy can do. When we roll in there, you let me and Ghost do any of the talking, and you do
Understood.
exactly what I tell you. Do you understand?
Understood.
Groovy. I knew I could count on
Alright.
you. So, shall we meet in say a couple of hours?
Sure. That's cool.
Groovy. Come on, Damien. Let's go.
He nods and stands up to follow where Amy leads, and he nods politely at the ghosts. We will see you later.
Alright, see you later.
And he
And
follows his sire.
she settles down in the bar, seems to just enjoy chilling out there for a bit.
Limey, Limey, of course, heads outside with Damien. Does Damien drive?
Yeah. Let's see if he has any. Well, he can drive, but I don't know if he has a car. He only has resources one, so.
Oh yeah. I don't think you have a car. In that case, Limey will walk into a yellow cab, which
Yeah.
pulls up,
Yeah.
and he'll gesture towards you to sort of get in one side, and he gets in the other.
Yeah.
And as the cab crawls off slowly down the street in this terrible New York winter weather, Limey leans back in his chair, and folds his arms, and looks across at the fledgling before looking back out the window. Looks like tonight's the night for the new guy to prove himself, and undoubtedly we'll be posting that scene later.
Yep.
Unless anybody else has anything to do. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you, Lisa, for coming as your for playing too. Thank you, anybody who watched, for watching. And once again, good night.
Good night.